Creativity is the propeller behind innovation. Every man-made object, every theory, every scientific or medical advancement that we have, it all started with someone's crazy idea. You know, we've got Benjamin Franklin and his kite. We've got Isaac Newton and an apple. We've got Steve Jobs and an apple. We've got Archimedes and an overflowing bathtub. And we look at these people and we look at these moments and we think, why can't that be me? Or more likely, why can't that be me but with my clothes on? The founder of Visa, D. Hawk, is quoted as saying, "Make an empty space in any corner of your mind and creativity will instantly fill it." Well, this is easier said than done, because I don't know about you, but oftentimes I feel like my mind is so full of other stuff to do, I can barely do the next normal thing in my life, lest have like extra space sitting around and they're waiting for creative thoughts to come flooding in. But we also know that creativity is necessary for us to be able to move forward. So how do we solve that problem? How do we all become creative? So let's think of our heads like a bucket, okay? Bucket heads. For the purposes of this metaphor, let's think of our heads as this bucket, okay? This is your Lego storage container. After a completely unscientific analysis of Lego storage containers around the world, and by this I mean a completely unscientific analysis of the bulk lots of Legos I've been buying off eBay without telling my wife, I can tell you that most people's Lego stash is not, in fact, all Lego, okay? There's some other stuff mixed in there. I think the Lego bin is the black hole of the toy room. It is where everything goes to disappear and or die. It is like the spider graveyard for the house, the Lego bin. Like, that's where you go to find the dead spiders. So we've got a lot of other stuff in there. And after I've done this completely unscientific analysis, I'm able to create a completely unscientific pie chart to illustrate my point. And as we can see, there's an entire corner of our mind here that is complete junk, okay? We've got things in there. We've got Hot Wheels, you know, stickers, usually dismembered body parts from action figures. They make their way in there. Crowns, normally chewed on by some mammal of some unknown species. Unidentifiable. I'd just leave that category blank. Happy Meal toys, they're in there. And then, you know, the absolute gem of this pile is pet hair. And that's usually what's shellacked across the bottom. That's unpleasant. So these things in our mind, these represent that stuff we don't need when we actually want to get around to creating something, right? Okay? So this is the information we have sitting in our Lego bucket heads. And it's not necessarily extraneous information like all of the contestants from The Bachelorette in 2009. We don't need that information either. But sometimes it's just activities that we do every day or distractions that we have that are easy for us to get rid of, yet we seem to keep it in our lives and we keep it in our heads for no real reason. Okay? The other 75% is actually Lego. That's great. Those are our skills. That's our knowledge. That's our experiences. And those are the things that we can actually build with when it comes to being creative. So how do we empty the junk out of our heads? There are things that immediately come to mind. You know, meditation, obviously. Focused attention meditation, that's a great way if you're working on decision making. Open monitoring meditation if you're working on creativity. These are great ways to clear your mind. Solitude, that's another fantastic thing that we need for the creative process. You know, take a hike, literally. Exercise. Next time you're driving, turn off the radio. Have that solitude moment. Take a shower. How many of us get our best ideas in the shower? Seriously. Yeah, lots of hands. You are statistically, it's proven you are more likely to have a better idea in the shower than you are at work. This is serious. So do that. We need those moments to ourselves when we don't have all that other information, all that other stimuli coming at us, because that leaves us time for positive daydreaming. And it's positive daydreaming that helps us stimulate our creative parts of our minds. And while we're talking about eliminating distractions, we have our smartphones, the greatest devices. The average smartphone user checks their device every 6 minutes. That's 150 times a day. I will be the person who says it. Phone notifications are the pet hair of your Lego bucket head. Do a phone audit. How many of those apps do you really need? And of the ones you do need, how many of them do you need the notifications turned on for? Is it absolutely necessary that your hip buzzes when your friend you had one class with in high school posts a highly filtered photo of what they're eating for dinner? It's a rhetorical question. The answer's no. Disconnecting is it's a great way to free your mind. And another great way to free your mind is to remember that it is okay to play. As adults, this is sometimes something that we forget. It is okay to have a good time. It's okay to have fun. George Bernard Shaw said, "We don't stop playing because we grow old because we stop playing." And who in here wants to grow old? Yeah, I don't. That's why my bio picture in the program is from 2005. You can check. I have a lot more hair. It's not gel holds my hair like this, by the way. It's sunblock. I'm in the prevent sunburn phase in my life now. But you have to remember it's okay to have a good time. And if I told you to write down one thing right now about what do you like to do, what do you really like to do? What's something that is great for you and is a good time and is your version of play? I bet most of you would not write down, I really love watching those completely inaccurate 1-hour emergency room and or courtroom dramas. But a lot of people spend their evenings doing that. And the question is if that is not the most fun you could be having, why is that how you're spending your time? So we have all these ways we can be cleaning out our mind. So we've cleaned out our mind now of all of these extra things that, hold on. We've now cleaned out our mind of all of these extra things that we don't need, and we have a little bit of space with which to work, okay? So we need to start refilling this space with bricks, our Lego bricks that matter. Skills, knowledge, and experience that can add to our collection, that have long-term versatility, that have long-term value, things upon which we can build with and build upon later, right? And how do we do this? Well, there are a lot of ways. The first way to start adding these bricks to our collection is by simply saying yes when presented with opportunities. Does anyone in here know what Zorbing is? Has anyone heard of Zorbing? One person, thank you. You can back me up when I say this is perhaps the most idiotic activity I've ever seen in my life. I saw this the first time I went to Switzerland, and the short version, okay, is that you pay someone money. It's problem number one, in my opinion. They take you to the top of a hill, and they put you in a gigantic inflatable hamster ball, and then they push. You then spend the next several minutes like watching Switzerland roll by you like a washing machine, and you hope not to end up in a tornado of your own vomit. The end, you're out $20. Needless to say, at the time, I said no. In retrospect, however, I wish I had said yes. Because that's not an experience I'm ever sure I'm going to have the opportunity to get again. That is a very interesting element. That's a very interesting brick I could have added to my collection, right? I don't know when I'm ever going to have that opportunity. Say yes when someone invites you to a party, even if they're going to be really weird people there. Say yes, especially if there are going to be really weird people there, because those people make for the most interesting conversations, I will tell you. My wife's a biologist. I have been to these parties. They last a long time. So do that. Next time someone says, let's go do karaoke, say yes, go. Or next time someone says, participate in a Lego fire walk, say yes. I'm not looking at anybody specific when I say yes. Nobody specific at all. By the way, that's great for birthday parties. According to Pinterest, and everything on Pinterest, it's a great idea. But these are ways for us to be adding bricks to our collection, okay? Just saying yes. Moving on, there are other ways. There are, you need to be not just passively having opportunities come to you. You need to be actively looking for things, because there are so many things available out there for you to be grabbing. There are, let's say when you go to a restaurant, okay? When you go to a restaurant, don't order the safest thing on the menu. Order the weirdest thing on the menu. Because even if it's terrible, it will still be an experience. Someone decided to put it on the menu for a reason, so we might as well find out why. Take something apart. Preferably take something apart you don't have to know how to put back together, just in case. But, for all of those things, you get some additional bricks. Okay? That's adding to your mental inventory. Those are skills, that's knowledge, that's experience. Okay? Pick up a new foreign language, or just read. Watch Nova. Man, that's a fascinating show. Have you ever watched that? There's some cool stuff on there. Learn how to solve a Rubik's Cube. You get a brick not just for your problem-solving ability, but you get like social bricks, because you're going to be like the highlight of the party of nerds that we were talking about earlier. Like, those people will worship you. Like, social bricks. So now that we have all this great mental inventory, we're looking at it, and we can't just appreciate all of these things for, I'm exiting the rug. We can't just appreciate all these things for like these individualized, shiny pieces of plastic that they are, because that doesn't really, there's no magic in that. Nothing has been created here. These are all just individual pieces that we own. The real magic happens when we start assembling them. But sometimes that's intimidating, because we don't know exactly where to begin and what can be connected to what, or how many things we're actually going to be able to make out of what we own. But consider just 6 Lego bricks, okay? The quintessential 2x4 Lego brick upon which the patent was made. Okay, how many different combinations can we make with just these 6 Lego bricks? Like 100? Or 1,000? The fact is, we can make more than 915 million different combinations with just 6 Lego bricks. Just these 6 bricks, 9 or 15. That's only if we use right angles. If I start using other angles, I can get another 26 million combinations out of those things. Okay, that's 6 bricks. And if you have a mental inventory like this, or bigger than this, and you keep adding to it, what you are able to do when you start to create things is virtually limitless. Supercomputer can't figure that out. They're called creative exercises for a reason. And that's because you have to start putting your pieces together with abandon. You just have to start taking all of these things that you know, all of these experiences you have, all of these pieces in your inventory, and connecting them just to see what happens. Okay? Take these different pieces and start writing. It could come out as poetry. It could come out as an academic textbook. You could create a great work product when all of that is said and done. But that's a byproduct. That should not be the goal. It's just about seeing what you can create with what you have available. Maybe science is more your field. At some point, someone decided to take genes from a winter flounder and combine it with the genetics from our domesticated strawberries, okay? And they took the part of the winter flounder that that doesn't freeze when it gets into very cold water. And they put that in our domesticated strawberries. And now we have hardier strawberries. Our strawberries don't freeze as easily when they're on the vine. They don't freeze when they're in transportation. And this was not the case 20 years ago. 20 years ago, strawberry was a seasonal fruit. Now, we can all enjoy strawberry and flounder shortcake like in the middle of December. And this is why, is because there's a little piece of flounder in every strawberry you're eating now. And somebody said at some point, this is a crazy idea. But it's not, and you all eat it. The goal here is not to create a better mousetrap. Not to create a better mousetrap. Goal is to create a different mousetrap. Different mousetraps, that's where innovation comes from. Don't add to models that already exist. Start from scratch. Heck of a lot more interesting. You know, when you come across objects in the world, when you come across these theories, when you're given facts, when you learn things in your class, realize that everything you have is just a collection of pieces. When we have our smartphones, you know, these smartphones are great things, but all someone did was take what they knew about a phone, and they combined it with what they knew about a computer. And they combined that with what they knew about a camera. And they combined that with what they knew about gaming consoles. And they combined that with what they knew about shopping and all of these other things. And that's how they came up with a smartphone that we carry around with us every day. There wasn't new knowledge there. They just took all of the inventory they had and they put all those things together. So we've answered our question in how do we become creative people? We work with what we have, because your inventory is completely unique. Nobody has the same inventory you do. It's impossible. So nobody can create the exact same thing you can. You have to get together with your pieces and just start assembling. See what happens. So we've answered one question, but that just poses one other. What can you build? That's it. Thank you.